Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Charlie Chaplin's Easy Street in 1917. So, another Chaplin review, and this time from the Mutual Films collection. And of course, I reviewed The Tramp, which was in the S&A's. And really I'll be fluttering between, these two sets, as I please. I'll probably review all of these shorts, to be honest. Yeah, there's around 30 of them altogether. But yeah, I really look forward to watching the rest of them. And yes, The Tramp I thought was a very good film. It could have been great if the middle segment had actually had more drama, maybe. I don't know. And the slapstick, if it was less repetitive, because it got a bit too repetitive for me, and it just didn't quite sustain the time there was. And Easy Street is fairly acclaimed actually, among his shorts. Quite a lot of people would put it in his, top 15, top 10, maybe at times. And yes, I was absolutely blown away by it. I think, I really, really liked, The Tramp, but Easy Street, I think I absolutely adored. And, I think it's just stunning short, and all the stuff, the problems I had with The Tramp, and the fact, I felt the actual Chaplin that I know from his feature films, I think that it was hard to kind of see a lot of, how he got there, but this film, I think, he brings in all the pathos more, he brings in the emotion, the kind of spiritual side of it, and as well, just, I think, far better put together action and slapstick, choreography and everything, and just mixed in, the drama and the comedy, and that's what Chaplin is, and I absolutely love this film. I would highly recommend it. Basically, there's this street called Easy Street, basically kind of slums, where there's loads of crime, and you see loads of people kind of fighting in the streets and everything there. And the main plot is that Chaplin, this character, he eventually becomes a policeman, and he's given this rough beat, on the first day on the job, and it is Easy Street, and you see loads of policemen and stuff getting beaten up early on, and then Chaplin goes in and basically unfolds from there. Massive sequences of chase scenes and everything, and fight scenes as well, and there's this massive guy kind of within the gang, sort of, these criminals, and he's completely massive compared to everyone else, and he's kind of like a boss, in a video game kind of thing. Very, very hard to take down, and Chaplin goes up against him, and it's so creative how this happens. But the beginning of the film, basically Chaplin goes to this church and everything, and he's in a great scene. He kind of meets this woman, played by Edna, Purviance, who would be in a lot of his shorts actually. She was in many of his films, and he basically kind of falls for her, and I think she persuades him to stay around and everything, and he kind of gets reformed, because you see him early on sleeping, on the streets and stuff, and then he kind of tries to do good, and he does join the police force. The rest of the film basically unfolds from there, and I won't ruin the rest of the film in terms of the plot, how it unfolds, but it's an absolutely stunning film. I would call it a masterpiece actually, I would not hesitate. I think I had no flaws of it at all, and I think it just within 26 minutes it was roughly, it managed to do so much. I think as well, it's kind of a social commentary, as well. Of course he would do that later with films like Modern Times in particular, and of course The Great Dictator, but the Modern Times kind of is more on the streets and everything, and factory stuff and everything like that, factory workers. And this one, it has all that in there as well, and just the way that the slapstick has been put together is it's just genius, really. It's stunning, and it's just so thrilling, so visceral, and just to have the actual fight choreography is just so well done, and it's funny, but it's also something you kind of wow, that is something that's thrilling and funny at the same time. And Chaplin, this is much better than he was in the previous short I saw, The Tramp. I think by this point it was 1917. I think he was from what I've heard, basically he got better and better, towards the Mutual, and then of course leading into the 20s, of course he would make The Kid, which I have seen. As I've said before, I've seen pretty much all of his feature films, but I hadn't really seen any of his shorts. And you know, he was known to really just get better and better, really. And you know, a lot of people say that his sound ones weren't as good. Find out what I think about them, you know, because I think there's some of the most underrated films ever made are amongst them. But yes, he really with these shorts, I think he got better and better from what I've heard. And this is just leagues above what I saw with The Tramp. You know, because it's got the kind of patience as well, and the drama is just so good, you know, as well, mixed in there, and you know, kind of romantic as well. It's really, really just something else. You know, for a short, it's really quite perfect. And you know, I just love the scenes where he's actually getting the outfit on, the police outfit. It's so good. And all the way, you know, into the actual streets where he, you know, there's quite a lot of the film is in the streets, and it's kind of a lot of fighting and chase scenes. But it never gets repetitive. Like I found The Tramp did at times a little bit, you know, in the middle segment. It never gets repetitive because it's so well, you know, the variety in there is just so, you know, great, and the just the actual energy as well. It's much more. It's got so much more energy, and the way it's been shot is much more confident. I think the way it's been edited is better. You know, as I say. And it's got some really, really beautiful, touching moments, you know, with the woman in the film that he meets, and stuff that happens in the middle as well. You've got him, yeah, I won't ruin, but it's really, really stunning. And, you know, the side characters as well are great. The bully, you know, he's titled as the bully. He was really good, the actor that played him. And just, it's an epic showdown that happens, and really, really creative ways for Chaplin, you know, basically, you know, the Chaplin's character, kind of how he takes him down, because of course he can't basically beat him through strength, because, you know, he's a massive guy and everything, and his hits and everything are, you know, at first ineffective, and then I love the way that it kind of progresses. You know, Chaplin starts to learn how to actually take him down, and then as well there's a lot of little twists and turns that happen after that. And the score as well, by Cole Davis, I really love the score here. You know, it was newly put in. And it's wonderful, you know, and just the way that this film looks is actually stunning. And you know, I just love this from start to finish, as I've said. You know, these short films would be pretty short reviews compared to my you know, my usual feature film reviews. But when we get into the actual feature films of Chaplin, they will be quite long probably, because I've got a lot to say about them. But this really, for a short film, you know, I think it's absolutely wonderful. I think it's you know, overall it's got the slapstick is just masterful. I think I love the relationships in the film, the characters, and the main romance. It was really wonderful, uplifting, and very, very touching. You know, and that's what Chaplin's known for, the pathos and everything like that. But you know, it just I think the way he mixes it, you know, the way he balances it out is, well, that's what really is so good about him. You know, throughout his feature films, and I think he does this here perfectly. I think, as I've said, the way the film's shot is just stunning. The acts build and build, and I just love how it comes together. It comes together perfectly. You know, I found with The Tramp it faltered a bit in the middle, and it kind of lessened the final outcome, which was actually in itself really stunning, actually, I would have said, you know, but it just had that middle segment that had some weak stuff in there, you know, compared to the rest of the film. This one was just great from start to finish, masterful. Direction, editing by Chaplin, you know, and just Chaplin in this film is just so good. You know, he's so likable, and just every single gesture is perfect. And yeah, I just think it's a perfect short film. You know, it's not it's not, you know, on the level, put into perspective, you know, of any of his feature films, but I still think it's a masterpiece. And for a short, really, I cannot fault it. I'd have to give this film 100%. I think, yeah, as I've said, a masterpiece from me, and you know, of course, nowhere near for me as good as his feature films that I've seen. You know, I've seen 8 of them at this point, and yeah, I just think it just works. Everything works so well. It's uplifting. You know, it elevates. That's what Chaplin does when he's at his best. He elevates beyond, you know, what most people would ever do. And I just think it's full of energy, so kinetic. The fight scenes are amazing. The chase sequences, and all the drama as well. It's just stunning. Highly recommend it. So thanks for watching my review of Charlie Chaplin's Easy Street, and expect more Chaplin reviews to come. These shorts will be reviewed quite often, and then this week I'm pretty sure I'll be reviewing The Kid, rewatching that. I cannot wait for that. So thanks for watching my review.